Hi everyone, it's Liz Kozar with Park Bench Estes Park. And if you have not had the opportunity to check out this new shop in town, you've got to come out and take a look at Cabintique. I have the pleasure of being here today with owner Carey Stevanus. And Carey, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So I have to tell you, when I drive by, vintage, cabinet. Tell us a little bit more about the whole concept of your store.
Okay, it's how I decorate at my house. I live in a 1949 log cabin, and so we kind of mix new things with old things in our house. And I've been collecting Estes Park memorabilia for 27 years, and I have a lot of artwork and things that we actually moved into this house, and it has more windows than walls, so there wasn't a place to hang my artwork anymore. So this is kind of a place where I can pass those things on to the next person to enjoy. So I brought some things in here for people that are the local things for people to purchase.
Okay.
And I mixed it with newer items that are cabin decor. There's a lot of really great fun retro things that you can decorate with too, like old thermoses and
Okay, things like old thermoses but like it's so much more than that. So I just want to ask, when did you open up?
So I opened 10 months ago, actually March of 2019. So I'm working up to my first year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you talked about things that you had, I mean, like, what was your inspiration for really deciding to kind of plunge forward and say, I'm going to open up a retail establishment?
Yeah, my husband and I bought a house that I wasn't able to decorate quite the way I wanted to with my local Estes Park artwork, and it just became time to let some things go and pass them on to the next people.
So really just because of that. So when you talk about some of the things you collected, tell me a little bit more about that. Like, where did you get these items? How did you go about starting to collect them?
Yeah, I really fell in love with Estes Park history. Right, I mean, I had just moved here and just...
And when was that?
Kind of dove right in. I was in my junior year of college. It was the...
so just a couple years ago.
27 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, just 27, just a few. Yeah, and I actually moved out to Mary's Lake Lodge, which historically was the Estes Park Chalet, and it was, at that time, it was employee housing. People in town would rent spaces out there for their employees to live. Because we know what it's like to have workforce housing here in town.
Yes.
And so we used that out there for that, and I managed that, and I got so into the history of that it just led me to learn so much more about the rest of Estes history. And I started collecting artwork from different photographers in town. That's kind of my big passion for collecting, and local authors, historic authors like Enos Mills, Harold Dunning. There's quite a few that I like to collect, and painters, different people that, you know, I kind of fell in love with their artwork and what Estes Park used to be, and, you know, just capturing why people wanted to be here and why everybody moved here, and everybody keeps moving here.
Yeah, even the new people like myself.
Right, exactly.
But probably the same reason people moved here so many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome. So, in addition to like the vintage pieces that you've collected, tell us a little bit more. It seems like you have some work here from some local craftspeople as well.
I do. This piece is actually from a local craftsman, John Lockwood. He has Lockwood House Antiques. He used to own a place down in Niawat, and he has 4 warehouses down in Longmont that he takes pieces like this. Was a headboard off a full-size bed.
Really?
And he made a bench.
Yeah, we're sitting on a bench made out of a headboard.
Yeah, so this is what he does. He takes old pieces and he repurposes them into new things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've had a lot of his things in the store, and as far as other locals, I try to keep a vintage look in the store, and I have Cheryl Pennington from Allen's Park. I have her hand-colored photos in the store. They're the ones that she took Fred Clatworthy's historic photos, and with the family's permission, she reprinted them, hand-colored them, and now we can sell them, you know, to people, and they get to enjoy them
and take a little piece of history
see,
as well.
and see some of the old lodges that were in Estes Park that are gone now, that were in the park and that we no longer have. So it's a great way to hang on to those pieces of history.
That's pretty neat. And we'll be featuring some of those photos, and of course we want people to come out and take a look, because there is a lot to look at. When the first time I came in the store, and you do have new items, right, that look like vintage.
Right, correct. Yeah, there's some really great stuff out there, and I tell people when they come in, I tag things with a white tag if they're new and a brown tag if they're vintage, because there are some things that people reproduce out there that look old, and you could really trick people into thinking it's old when it's really a new item. And I don't want to do that to people. I want people to know if it's an authentic piece or not.
But if you like the vintage look and you're okay with something that's reproduced,
yeah, sometimes you can get a
place, too.
reproduced piece that's not quite as much, doesn't cost as much as the ones that are the real pieces.
That's
So.
pretty. And you have a local candle maker, is that correct? And
Yeah.
can you tell us about that?
That's Ron Gray, and he's up in Allens Park as well. And
Nice smelling candles.
they're great. They're called Mountain Cabin Candles.
And the smell when you come into the shop, it's
I might have one. But
it just smells really good.
Right. Yeah. So he bases all his candles off of smells that are in the mountains and that are up by his cabin that he enjoys. Pine and spruce scents and fireplace scent, apple pie. I mean, just things that are all cabin-y kind of scents.
That's pretty neat.
And he actually donates $1 of the sale of each candle to Folds of Honor, which helps veterans' families. So
that's great to know. Just another good cause.
Yeah, it's kind of important to have in the store.
So, what about some of the more unique items? I mean, you have like some old vintage stoves. Is that right?
I do.
So, like a piece from a hotel or something.
Yeah. So I try to have things in the store that represent Estes Park and the history of Estes. And what has been really great in the past 10 months is the things that have found me, the people that bring things into the store that I would have never been able to find out there. And they're things literally in people's attics and barns here in town and different hotels and things that are looking for a new home. And just down the street at Peak to Peak Motel, they were getting rid of all the kitchenettes that were in their motel since 1948. They're original in their building.
Yeah, and we're talking about true vintage, not just something from the 70s. These are
correct.
So you have something back there that's like a stove and a refrigerator. And
yeah, that's the kitchenette piece from there.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they were. I think they were custom made for the space there, and they've been in their motel ever since they were put in originally. And it was time to change up their decor, and so last year they decided to take those out of their units, and they brought one to me. So some of the old knotty pine furniture that used to be in the motels and restaurants here in town that was made in Loveland and Longmont, a lot of that has found me, and since has found new homes for me that are here in town. So people remember it, and it brings back great memories. I meet so many people who come in, and they, especially the thermoses, they stand there and go, "Oh, I remember, and I hear a lot of this. My grandma had this, and my grandpa, I hear a lot of that, and it's really fun to hear people's happy memories about things,
and that it's a treasured piece now.
Right?
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
What do you think surprised you the most? Anything that from when you opened the shop that maybe you didn't expect?
I think the biggest thing, I guess, was the things that have found me and how much fun people are having bringing me things. And I'm having such a great time talking to people and hearing their history about how they came to Estes Park, why they're here, and just everybody's journeys of how they ended up here.
And now instead of keeping them to yourself, you're able to let other people have the opportunity to own a piece of history.
Yeah, some have been a little tough to let
let
go.
Yeah, I bet.
But I'm keeping track of all those people, and honestly, meeting them, getting to know them, and realizing how much they're going to enjoy that is comforting to me. That it's going to find the next home that's really going to appreciate it.
And they'll be able to enjoy it as well, rather than it sitting there.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So, what do you like to do when you're not working?
Well, I like to go shopping for these things.
So that's
yeah.
It's pretty evident that that's kind of a passion of yours.
Yeah, my husband's dream is that we are the pickers and get to go on the road and find more things, that we get to go in people's barns and, and sheds and find these amazing pieces. But for now, it's going down, down the hill, as we call it.
Down the hill.
And, finding, because I can't get away too far, but finding things down there that I think people will love. Plus, I have some great people in town who are my own pickers, who love to go on the hunt and find these things for me. So
that's pretty. And has that been a challenge, or do you find that things no,
hasn't been. I actually named the store Cabintique because it's cabin and antiques, and I thought, well, I'll name it that, and if the antique part doesn't work out, then it can just
be a cabinet type
boutique, then the word still works, because I was really afraid I wouldn't be able to get out of here and find more things,
right?
And they just keep coming in.
Well, and, for myself, what I found too, like, yeah, you're going to have those people who really do appreciate the old vintage, but you do have, if you have a summer home here or a cabin and you want to make it look cabin-y, you've got some really cute pillows on camp time, and the mountains are calling, so it's really kind of a nice mixture, even for people who just want to get that cabin feel.
Yeah, and you don't have to do your whole house in the vintage. Some people like to just do a bedroom, a guest room or something like that, or an office, and make that kind of the theme for that room. I want people to feel like it's a store just for,
or mixing a cool piece, like this bench in a mountain home in an entryway would be awesome, right?
Yeah, there's so many things you can mix together and make it work in any place. So
that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So, I've asked other businesses this, and it might be obvious, but why do you think it's important for people to shop local? I mean, obviously we want people from out of town to come in and enjoy what we love. I mean, we're willing to share that, but why do you think it's important for people to shop local?
Well, and I'm not in the downtown place where most people would find a store.
Yeah. And that's right. So you are off on South St. Vrain, and we'll put that information.
Yeah. So, and I kind of wanted to be outside of town, and I wanted more locals to shop in the store, and that's really what's happening. And it's just so much fun to connect with the people that live here. And a lot of people that have summer homes have second homes here, vacation rentals, and it's just really fun to experience why the people are here and why they love it, and teach them a little bit more what I might know, and then I get bits and pieces from them that they know as well. So having the local business is what keeps you going year round. Yeah. So I get I've had more people come in the off season, the locals that come in the off season. So we'll see how it all works out. It's been my first year, so I don't know how everything's going to work. But
that's right. But
yeah.
you've done great. The shop is awesome. I mean, really, people do need to come out. I think you'll be really surprised. And you have parking here, so in the busy summer, you don't have to fight looking for a parking space.
Right, exactly.
Too. So, well, Carey, anything else you want to cover?
Yeah, I really just wanted to say how much I appreciate the other local business owners who have supported me from day one on my grand opening. The people that have just come in to say good luck, to offer me advice, to it's been amazing.
And you're not the first. I mean, that's really a nice thing about living in our small town is we are supportive of one another.
Yeah,
so that's great.
It's been really nice.
Kudos to them.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
awesome. Well, Carey, thank you so much. Cabintique, come out and see Carey. She's going to take good care of you. There'll be local information on the Park Bench page. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye.
Carey.
Thanks.